But Amy and I have gone just about through every single one. Well, I got more. I've got five in that. I know who somebody told me. Oh, did you? Yeah. I looked at those sunrise pictures, those were amazing things. I like that. I put some on this calendar. Now, I can order you one. I haven't signed on, but I haven't wrote in.
Call the meeting to order at 6:02. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Lord, for giving us wisdom tonight as we make our decisions for the park and for the county. And thank you for being with each person here and just safe travels back home. Amen.
Have all members had a chance to read the minutes of the last meeting?
Yes. I'll make a motion to accept previous minutes from last meeting.
We have a second?
I second.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the meeting minutes with no changes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Oh, collections report, Liz?
There is not one at this. There is not one right now. I have been out of the office more than I have been in the office since the last meeting. I will be splitting them up with August's.
We have some claims here. Have all members had a chance to look at the claims? Some of you have been sent some. There are some here. Who needs to look at them? Levi, have you looked at these?
No. All of us here.
Yeah. While Levi's looking at those, do you have excuse me, you have a report for us, Liz?
Yes. well, a little bit of one, because again, I've been out of the office more than I've been in the office.
Yeah, bring us up to date.
So, so while I was out of the office, Cade started. And so he was able to spend his first week with the grounds crew, getting familiar with the park and areas out there. Let's see. I don't know. What else? What you got?
So since I started, kind of some updates on the grounds crew. We hired Kenny Ford as a full-timer starting this Monday. And we are also in the process of hiring a Richard Sidwell for Ranger, and he will start this coming weekend. Maintenance wise, some of you guys may have heard already. We have had a little bit of issue with the lift station, but we have it under control as of last week, so. Yes, ma'am.
I think we have both the main pumps out for repair right now. Doing an analysis of those, see if we have to replace them or if we can repair them. Is that correct?
I will also call tomorrow and keep the board updated on what that pricing may look like or how long it may take in the future. We have some estimates just based on the crew that came out to take the pumps, but I just want to get a more clear answer for you guys, so.
And we're presently pumping out the lift station on a almost daily basis over the weekend. Is that?
Over the weekend, correct. During the week, we don't really have to. I checked it on my way out and it's still about where it was at over the last time was Monday. So sometimes Monday we'll probably have to pump it out depending on the amount of people in the park at the time.
And I think preliminary estimates maybe 15,000 on the low end and potentially twice that, counting how many times we may have to pump it out and then replacement of the pumps instead of repair.
Yes, and depending on how many people we have in the park at the time, it could be quite a bit more, I believe, so.
Okay. You have anything else?
Not that I can think of currently.
Certainly.
We did finish, painting the large shelter house. Hang on a second. If you would please go up to the microphone.
Yeah.
We got to watch them all. So anybody that speaks needs to go up to the podium and Steve, please leave it at the podium.
Okay.
Everybody has to go up to the podium because then we've got you on camera and the microphone.
Okay, am I doing this right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So on the large shelter house, the big shelter house, we did finish up painting the 2 ramps from the south and the north side. And we finished up the 2 stairways. So the grand stairways and the stairways that come from underneath, I say painting, staining. And then we finished up staining with the top rail all the way around the top for the balance of the money that we had left over from last year. So all the treated lumber has been completed and updated and funds have been distributed, is my understanding, I think.
Okay, thank you. Anybody from the Veterans Museum? Nobody wants to speak? Okay. Friends of the Park. State your name, please. We don't know who you are.
Stephanie will be up here in a little bit. She and I is working on some money through the Henry County Community Foundation. We've completed the letter of intent. They've accepted it. We're now on the final application to them. So I'm trying to collect some information for her. And I met with some people down there a couple days, different times, talking to them. We're gonna get some money of some kind. I'm not sure what all we'll get, but they're very favorable to this has to do with the pond lighting project, by the way. And make sure that the board takes action to their satisfaction to approve that pond lighting project. We're good with it. I think everybody's good with it. In regard to that, I'm gonna get some poll sponsors. Right now, I don't know yet because we don't know how much money we're going to get, what I might ask for a poll sponsor. I'm gonna be one myself and encourage anybody in the room. Just let me know your name. We'll get back with you. This thing's gonna go. This is what I call the process end of all this. You have to do that to make things happen. And so we're in the process. And I'm gonna have Stephanie explain a few things about that action. And she also has another possibility, trying to raise some funds for some other things, but she can tell you how this is gonna work. Because you gotta get your name out there or you're not gonna get any money. Quite simple. So Stephanie, you wanna come up and tell them the truth now?
Thank you, Sheldon. Stephanie Robinson with Friends of Memorial Park. So as of right now, with the letter of intent stating with the pending approval of Memorial Park Board for the lighting project, we would apply for this grant. We were approved to do that, so now we need to make sure that as our application, and we put that in by September 15th, that it is indeed an approved project. And I'm not quite sure what the park board would need necessarily from me or from the Friends of the Park. Like Sheldon said, he is going to be getting some of those more exact numbers for us that we're needing. And I do know on our end, we will need an estimation. I know we don't have a clicker for whoever walks in and out of the park, but an idea of how many people the park has served in the last year for our grant purposes, as long as it is approved to do the project itself.
Do you have an idea of how many people?
Do you have an idea of how many people yearly come to the park, Liz?
Not really, because if somebody reserves the Smith Building, I'm not there to count heads to see how many people. I know it holds 300, but with each individual reservation, we don't ask them how many they're expecting or anything like that.
I know
Imagine it'd
So
be
it's a
large
big
and hard number
guesstimate,
to guess.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And you have to take into consideration things like
Oh, yeah.
4th of July.
Is there anything that the park board needs from the Friends of Memorial Park to make a decision?
I think we've talked in generalities about how much it's going to cost. We probably need to have some kind of not to exceed number or some kind of target number that we're trying to raise money for. I think Sheldon maybe has some numbers on what his engineer said we would need, maybe about what a pole costs and the lights and.
Contacted 3 different people at hospital. That's all. Foundation coming today. So I have some quotes are not bid, but the quotes to establish. So that's where I'm at. I gave you 1 minute, but they want some quotes, so I'm guessing.
Okay. Do they need a formal letter from the board showing our acceptance of the project?
I would assume so, that, since we do not own the property and that we're not in charge of the property that we're asking for money to do the project for, I'd like to make a suggestion that, the board, entertain the idea of approving the project with the stipulation that nothing gets started until the full amount of money that has been accepted would be obtained. So that way there wouldn't be any issues with starting something that could not be finished.
And what day do you need the final
The grant
application to?
needs to be turned in by September 15th. I prefer to do at least a day before. So,
Well, we should probably reach out to the county attorney and see if there's a form or any kind of wording that he would like to have on any kind of agreement that we enter into, that would have things like the money has to be there before we start the project and who oversees the project and how what your process is going to be. So he understands that a little bit.
I will reflect back to Sheldon for that one.
Right. That's right.
So we wouldn't send out the first proposal to give us a bid until we have the money.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
I think the request is for like a motion in order to approve us to pursue the project. At this
I
point in
pretty-
time. I don't know if it's ever been officially voted on by the board or not.
I thought it was quite a while ago that we said, yeah,
It was?
Yeah. yeah,
We'll make sure.
yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's suffice.
Yes, that will suffice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we need a letter or something about it?
I'm not,
Well, we can find it in the
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay.
okay. All right. I did have one more. There is another grant that is a larger grant that I will, I'm going to meet with the vice president of the company to see if it is a fit for our particular park. It is a matching grant, and it is, for outside walkable area that has access to, anyone within the county and within the area. So, for instance, repaving any walkways. The original thought was the lighting project before the Henry County Community Foundation grant. I'm in the very early stages of picking apart what they're requiring and asking questions, but I did want the board to know that we are looking at other funding for future projects. Once we have a list of projects that the park board has prioritized for us. And then we can start working on getting funding for those. But there is that particular grant that I'm looking at. It is, where'd it go? The grant itself is called Creating Places. And it's with a dual co-op between Patron City and the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority. So it has a possibility of raising a lot of money if we do this right and for the right project that it would fit for. Their eligible applicants are currently underutilized public spaces, or creates a new public space, allows free public access at all times or regularly scheduled times in which it offers free and public access, scheduled times of the park being open. The project development budget is between 10,000 and 100,000. So it has the capability of them matching 100,000. So it can go up to that. So I'm just gonna look into it. I'm gonna speak with the woman and see what the requirements are and ask questions such as, can we accept pledges beforehand? Because they have one stipulation that we cannot accept money for that project until it would go live on our website that Patron City would have for us. But the process is we go through Patron City first with the application. They do their stuff with it. When they approve it, then it goes to the Indiana Housing Committee, Community Development, and then they would approve it, and then we would get, it would be a real quick process once it got that far. Because we would have 45 to 60 days to raise whatever matching that is, which goes back to why I'm asking if we can get pledges beforehand. So
Do you have any examples where they've done any projects so far?
they did I do not have the exact name with me, but they did a project in a park for the picnic tables, their shelter houses, around that area to make sure it was, ADA accessible. They've done lighting projects before in a smaller scale. And then there's been a few others, but I can definitely look at that again to see what those specifics are and bring that back to the board.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Wish list?
Yes, as soon as you're able to, would the board be able to provide a wish list? So that way we know which way we're going and we do not get ahead of ourselves. Thank you.
Are we back to you, Jim? Expo? Duke? It's going to be one or both of you.
Duke Ham, treasurer with the Henry County Expo Center Board, and just a current update. First of all, the not so good news, we did not get funded for the first round of the Okra grant that we worked really hard on, and through our Tina Henderson, our administrator. We will reapply for a second round that's due in December, and we'll hear by the end of January. We are moving forward. This will actually, speaking of Jim Ward, we've been holding him back, reining him in here for months because things that are in that budget, we really couldn't work on per the grant criteria. So we're going to be changing some things around the budget so that Jim and us can get rolling on electric, plumbing finishing, HVAC finishing, and probably more around that. We have also, if you've been by there in the last week or so, there's been some major outdoor improvement visual, with the weeds cut down, gravel put out in front, and it just looks a lot more presentable if you have a chance to drop by there and see that. The Sanders, am I saying Sanders or Saunders? I always get Sanders. There was a meeting a few weeks ago. Brianna Chapman, our board president, and Jim Ward had been in contact, and they met with the family members. I believe it was 2 family members to talk to them about their wishes. And Jim actually has some plans in place. It looks like the budget Jim's looking at's in the $35,000 range, and we want to start fundraising with that for that soon. And we will be coming to you, I think, for approval of those plans and making sure it's with the wishes of the family. I don't know, Jim, anything else of note? Yeah, come on up.
Forgot to fail that I'm Jim Ward, so I work for Brianna and Duke, so. Just a couple things on the Saunders family. We did come with 3D model and a cost estimate, well, a quote, so it's accurate. And the Sanders family was happy with the design. And then, so I've got to put a proposal together to give to Duke and Brianna, and then they'll present it to you for approval of the design, color, style, and location. So there was some discussion on the location of where it would go to at, and there was a couple proposals that they requested, and it's just really got to be put together in a package and submitted to you guys for approval. And then the only other thing is that RMC has the transformer done and the electrical starts next week. And we should have power in there by mid-September. And so that's moving forward, which is
Huge. for us. Good, thanks. I'll probably call him back up here in a second. And then I think the two other items, we are still waiting to hear back from the commissioners about the lease change negotiations. I think that's in legal discussions around that, but we do welcome that and are waiting for that still. And then Ready 2.0 water project. It's our understanding in meeting with Corey Murphy that is pending through the Ready 2.0 process with the state, which is means it's close. According to Corey, and he's still very positive about that project getting started soon. I don't know the definition of soon, though, if you want to ask me that. And that is our update. Any questions?
Could you share with the other board members the proposed or potential locations for the Sanders shelter? I was at the meeting with Jim, so I know where it is, but the other board members might want to go
It
to those
is on the
locations
north
and take a
side.
look at it.
Come on up, because Jim will say it much more accurately than I will.
So the two locations that they requested, whether they're chosen or not, the one location would be just to the east of the volleyball court up there by the basketball court. So right in between the tennis court and the volleyball court, right in that area there. So it would be on the south side of that little road there. And then the other location, second location, would be on the south side of the park or in the expo area, that it would be on the far west side of the road of the expo building. So you have I think there's 3 or 4 other shelters along there. But the potential of that being another possibility is a location. And when I get the proposal completed, I'll have GPS marked on a map so you can see those 2 proposals and they're documented.
Thanks, Jim.
Any other questions?
No, I don't have anything. Anybody else?
Thank you, everybody. Oh, by the way, I'm in the Memorial Park about 200 times a year for my walk and jog through. So make sure you get me counted.
Thank you for that.
You got one.
Anybody have anything to comment on any RIPS projects?
No, I wish I had any update, but I don't.
Okay. 4-H. Nobody? Okay. Unfinished business. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Norma. I was getting to that, but
All right, you've had to sing me for a long time. You may not want to see me again sometime. We have some unfinished business too. We still want to put the monument, I better say I'm Norma Dishman. We still want to put the monument on the hill at the Poor Farm Cemetery. We just haven't had time and everything to get that started. So that's still on our list. Right now, we are wanting to decommission the flag at the War Mothers site where the Doughboy used to be. It's very old and worn. The American Legion has agreed to buy a new flag for that site, and hopefully they will do the honors of installing it. That flag was purchased by Landon Dean in his own personal money, so that will probably be decommissioned and given to him. In passing the sites today, the big war memorial there at 3 and the Park Road, the white one, the big war memorial, I can't remember the exact name right now, looks very overgrown and needs a lot of work done on it. And the site where the flag is going on the War Mother's site too needs to be cleaned up too before we have a ceremony up there. And I know the park board, I know you've had some problems with labor and not enough time, but those two things need to be taken care of before November and Veterans Day. But when we get ready to put the site, we just ordered the flag, so it'll be at least a month before that ever comes and is ready to give you a permanent date of when that will happen. So and that's about all I have on that. As you know, our group got the park on the national and state registry, historic registries, and we did get the funds and everything to do the poor farm, scanning it and finding out where that was. So I think we've established ourselves as completing what we do. That's one reason why I want to let you know that memorial is still going to go up. So that's about all I have in that business. Mr. Harmon, would you come up here?
Sure.
This book was written by Mark Orr, and it's the 100-year history of Memorial Park.
That's awesome.
It is my Bible, my park Bible. So I want you to have a copy of it, and you can study the history of the park, give you more of a sense of what you're dealing with here in history. And my husband's also in here. My husband's picture is on the little cannon that was on the hill back in 61. So Mark and I and our group, the citizens, would like you to have that.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
I appreciate
I'm
it.
glad you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to sit down.
Thank you, Norma. Okay, unfinished business.
One short thing.
Sure.
So working on the bridge project for Sheldon. Right now, Gonzalez Engineering, formerly FPBH, they let me know today that they have all the dimensions now scaled and they're finishing the draft of the prints for a bridge for potentially on the a replacement for the concrete bridge that's over here between the two lakes. So that's the replica of the first covered bridge in Henry County or Indiana, as history shows it. And then we also have the other option is if that's not feasible, that we do have that other option that I've given Sheldon, which was basically a design that's a walking bridge that's out of cedar, basically. So hopefully in 2 weeks, we will have the one done by Gonzalez and they'll submit it and then we can go for outside quote and see what the cost would that be.
Under unfinished business, the Krups Cannon. Any comment? Where does that stand right now? I think we were going to move it out after we pressure washed and treated the concrete. Is that correct, Steve? Okay. I think Cade was working on trying to get that scheduled and worked in.
Yeah, I talked to them this morning about that, and also like we talked about like watering the concrete bridge area like along that road. So I think they're gonna get started on it tomorrow. So if not, I'll ask them again, bug them again.
How was that sealant applied? Was that roller or was it sprayed on, or what do we need to do that?
Steve Beckenpaul. I did both methods and I think roller actually works better than spray. If I remember correctly,
Okay.
probably 2 coats. Just to, give you that much better protection.
Okay, thank you. Vending machine. Levi, have you heard further on the vending machine?
I have not necessarily myself. I don't know. Liz, have you heard anything back?
The last time I heard anything, was in an email from Emily that they were supposed to come August 1st. And then this guy called a couple times and said that it was still planning for August 1st. And then the last time that he called, the vending machine needed maintenance and it was going to be a couple of weeks. And that was, I don't know. I've been out of the office more than I've been in, but it's been quite a while.
Okay, that's about what I've heard. Their supplier for the vending machine, they got it all ready, but then there's some kind of issue or something that came up that they had to continue doing work on it. And I think they're just waiting on their supplier for that right now.
Well, it's not costing us anything. It's not our machine. It's not to worry about it. Duck Island. Who wants to talk about that?
Without really having an update, no. We don't really have an update on Duck Island, since that's from Rips. And the last that I heard, she's waiting on a boat to get across.
Well, we've had a boat and we said anytime they need to get out there, let us know and we can.
She hasn't got a hold of me. Rita, has she got a hold of you? So.
I know she's been busy giving tours of her prairie out there, but I haven't talked to her, so I don't know.
Well, we should probably give thought about developing another plan then. Would you like to
I can call
set up an
her.
alternate plan?
I can call her tomorrow and find out what her
Well,
thoughts are.
pretty soon we'll be able to build a snowman out there, so.
That's true.
We have a functioning boat and there's always been boats available and we know where there's boats, so things seem to have stalled. There's been some discussion about who was going to pay for what and who was going to do what. But I seems to have just stopped on their end and we were waiting for them to do something. Okay, go ahead.
I feel like the boat should not be an issue. Just I have a couple kayaks. I have a couple people who are volunteering their boats if they need a boat. So even if ours somehow malfunctions, we would have a boat.
Yeah,
So
we can, that's not an issue. I think it's an excuse, so.
We'll pass that along to her when we talk to her.
Is it okay if I give her your phone number? Yeah. Okay.
if you could, please, my work phone number, I would highly appreciate it. But
I don't have his work cell phone number.
don't,
Get it for you.
don't give
Okay.
Rita that. Don't give Rita.
Thank you.
Tony?
Tony Roach. The last time I talked to her was the last time I ferried her out there and she didn't like my boat. She gave a projected date of reapproaching that project in November. By what she meant on that, I don't know. It was getting too hot to plant The last trip, they went out there to spray the non-natives and they didn't take enough spray with them but I have seen some native stuff coming up out there. If you look, primrose looks real good.
Well, I know we have somebody that's approached us about planting a tree out there. And I think a tree was mentioned in the past. If we wanted to put a tree out there, there were some people said they didn't want a tree and some people said they did want a tree. I know the person that offered to put a tree out there, they're running a little bit close on time. They have an arrangement to get a tree and they want to put a willow tree out there. But they're afraid they'll lose this tree to the next person that's going to come through the nursery and buy it.
We need to decide if we're going to put a tree out there or not then. Like,
We probably need to make that decision tonight.
I make a motion to put a willow tree out there
Quick-
on the Duck Island.
Quick interjection there. Would that be a native willow tree? Because I remember back when we were planning to do that initially, Rips said that willow trees are not native and would not be allowed to be put out there, last I heard. Weeping willows specifically.
there's a black willow.
Oh, so.
I want to get to that. I'll dig up in the back.
What-
It's not bragging.
Do you
Native
know what
species,
tree
okay.
she was looking at? That's what,
Okay.
that's
that
what I
would
thought
be-
it was.
Sounds good.
Black willow's fine.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. Anything else about Duck Island?
Several years ago, after Mark had already made this book, he started a sequel to the history of Henry County Memorial Park. And at that time, Landon Dean said that I could come into the office and look through the old records and any scrapbooks or anything like that to see if we had any information that he didn't get in this book that he could put in the next one. So I wanted to make sure that was still okay with this board.
A lot of the pictures and everything have been moved. If you give me a call, I can pull them for you and have them in my office.
Yeah, okay,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, just
I just
give me,
wanted
if
to make
you
sure
give
I
me-
had permission to come into the park office and do it like he had said I
Absolutely.
could.
Everyone is welcome in the office. If you give me like a couple of days, then that way I
We
can
we
have the
put them
guys.
all out on a table out in the other room, you know, because I'll have them everywhere.
Yeah,
Just to let you know, I have 4 notebooks, 4 inches thick of everything that's happened in this park that I could possibly collect since 2013. And I'm not up to date on the minutes in the past 3 years. But other than that, all the newspaper clippings and everything that I could get, I've put in this notebooks. And they're in plastic pockets. They're not glued. So, anybody wants any information, I'm probably the one to be the easiest to get it from anyway. I started it, well, like I said, 2013, and just randomly got it. But then in about 2016, I kept everything I could. So I appreciate it if I can still do that. Thank you.
Does anybody have any ongoing business? I have none. Unfinished, ongoing, whatever you want to call it. New business. Katie's here. I hope this involves Girl Scout cookies. It says Girl Scouts.
we'll take a case of Samoas, please. Ah, I would like some
like
Moas, please.
I'm Katie Klontz. I'm here for Girl Scouts of Henry County, and we wanted to find out if the board would approve Girl Scouts using the Smith Building at no cost on February 19th of next year for a World Thinking Day. This would be troops from all over Henry County. Each troop has a country that they represent, and the girls go to different tables to learn about different culture.
This is countywide?
It is.
How many troops is that? How many girls
It
would you have?
depends on who all wants to participate. I want to say last year there were maybe about 10 different groups with about 10 different countries, because some troops do more than one country,
Mhm.
depending on the different levels that they have available. And some of the older girls did individual countries on their own. I'd say last year there were probably 35 to 50 people that attended from multiple troops. Troop 2796 from Newcastle is the one that would be hosting the event.
I feel like the park superintendent and the park secretary need to be the taste testers.
They do have food. That's one thing they do. Every country has a food, so you're welcome to come and sample the foods.
Well, I think you need to promote that a little bit more. I have no objection. Does anybody have any comment?
What did you say the name of the event was?
It would be February 19th of 2026, and it would be in the evening. We would probably start setting up around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and it's usually like 6 to 9-ish.
What was the name though? Like
It's the Henry County Girl Scout
or
Council.
like sorry, the title of the
World
event?
Thinking Day.
World Thinking. Okay. That's what it was. Thank you.
I don't think we need a vote on that. Fine with us.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything to say? Yeah, we can. What, if you have something to say? Yeah.
I'm Steve Peckinpah, and I'm a Henry County resident, speaking for myself and my wife in this specific instance. Not only is the Big Four Memorial not in the condition it should be as far as overgrowth, but it continues a long-standing problem with the floor. I know the budget process is ongoing now. I'm doubtful that you're going to have a whole bunch of money laying around to do repairs, or unless you're planning on going in and using some of the money you have in the budget from sale of the golf course, whatever. But I would ask that some priority be given to that memorial, because it does hold the names of the service people who were failed during World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. That responsibility, if it is not capable of being done by the park, very soon needs to be, in my opinion, so stated by the park board, and we can have the opportunity then to get other involvement around moving this forward. This has been, as far as I know, at least a 7-year situation. There are also other memorials that need some repairs in the park. Probably if you could find $100,000, you could spend it tomorrow and then still not have any way to get to the Desert Storm Memorial without hiking, which is kind of hard to do in a wheelchair or on a walker. So I would ask that the board put some priority on those memorials, their repair and upkeep. Thank you.
Can I add to that?
Sure, Tony.
From the Friends of the Park perspective, Stephanie mentioned a wish list and priorities, and this is the kind of project we're talking about. We may have to take little bites at this or take big ones like roads. But anybody that has any ideas of things that need to be approached, Big Four is one. That walkway needs to be addressed. Desert Storm, yeah, that's been ongoing for a long time like that.
Well, I think those are things that Friends of the Park could pick one or two or all as a project.
Well, I think
And-
Stephanie was requesting maybe a prioritized where the board would like.
Well, I know
Because
that
that's what we're here for.
Kate and I had a chance, we spent about 7 hours one day walking through all of the park, and what we didn't walk through, we drove through. And we did look at some of the monuments as we go by, and they do need work, and he's developing a list of prioritizing ones we can address with the funds we have and the manpower we have. We start on the easiest ones. We can look at some of the larger ones, and we can put those in a wish list, and those would be at the top of, pick one, pick any of them. They all need some attention. But, along
Kind
with,
of a request, though.
yeah, no, they do,
Look at that.
they do need attention, and it has been getting overgrown. I think it's been pretty easy for our park maintenance people to do the big, easily viewed items like mowing the grass and cutting the trees down and things like that. And it's too easy to forget about the monuments. They get overgrown and they get hidden and people forget about them, but we are developing a process to address those. Sure.
At one time, there was an attempt made to form a monuments committee. And I'm not saying that didn't work. I'm saying the interest ebbed and flowed, probably be the best way to put it. However, if you want to reinstate that kind of thing, I think it would be worthwhile to have more representation, input, or whatever you want to call it from the veterans organizations within the county. I'm not sure exactly why they're not more interested, but I think they should be as a member of both of the Legion and the VFW. I'm pointing three fingers back at myself when I say that, because I am a member, but I think manpower is a problem with keeping those monuments up. You don't have it to keep up with what you have to do. And some of the monuments are pretty labor intensive. The Big Four Memorial can be very labor intensive. Okay. The others, not so much probably, but still they are to keep them in the condition that they need to be in as a memorial for veteran service. So I don't know if you want to consider having a committee or not. Maybe Cade's got a better idea or a different idea, and I would, it's his ball game now, that's fine.
What do you think
Didn't try
about?
to do that at one time?
What do you think about approaching the VFW members and having them spearhead a committee, and maybe a few of them can each kind of adopt the oversight of a particular memorial, and they can look at it and they can report to us and let them adopt a memorial. These three guys can adopt this memorial, and
I don't. But I would think that Cade or you together need to make that outreach in person to those organizations.
Well, I think we can do that.
So that it's not viewed in some kind of off the wall way. It's the best I can put it.
Okay, well, is the
Just-
board
just a
agreed?
Suggestion, but that's what I see, because your budget's not gonna have enough. I mean, let's face it. Wasn't that many years ago, there were 12 full-time positions in the park. You're gonna be lucky to have half that many out of the budget this year, I would guess. You know,
We didn't cut any positions.
well, there's only 6.
Well, I'm just saying, we didn't cut any positions, so.
But did you fund them? That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay, you can say we didn't cut them, but if you don't fund them, you might as well have, and so.
Somewhere along the line, they did cut some, but it was before I was on the board.
A long time ago, not
Yeah.
in the last year or two.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but all the positions weren't fully funded, fully hired this year for some reason, were they? Now that we're talking about the budget? Were they fully
budget
hired?
approved. The budget will be approved in September. We've already got the budget.
Well, first of all, I was talking. You, as usual, you come button in, okay?
No,
So I didn't ask you
Uh,
anything
hey.
about the budget.
Hey,
don't attack me.
Why not?
I didn't attack you, Steve. I was asking Tom a question. I didn't attack you.
You.
okay, hey,
have
enough,
the
enough.
idea-
Hey,
So I wanted to piggyback off of what Steve was saying just a little bit. Maybe, and what you guys were talking about, that maybe, I think it's a great idea, that a sponsorship. So for instance, Steve and I went out there and we looked at a monument and we cleaned one up that needed to be, but I wouldn't be opposed to signing up to go out there and clean and work on a monument to help. But I'm sure other people or businesses might say, hey, there's a monument out there, we'd be willing to go out there and clean it too. And maybe together as a group, we could, if we had a priority list of monuments, have people sign up for them. I would sign up for a couple of them to go out there, and that might help bridge the gap until we get to the place that the process can then maintain them. But I would be willing to sign up and to help out. Okay?
so
Let me explain my anger. If super county officials are allowed to come into a meeting and interject anything they want to whenever they want to, I don't think that's being fair to us poor other citizens who have to sign up or ask or beg to something.
There and say what I said. I'm not going to sit here and be attacked, Steve. All I did was ask Tom, we didn't cut anybody, did we?
no, and we were talking about memorials and we were talking about labor involved in working on memorials. And we ended up talking about budgets, but the discussion is not about budgets. So,
I was here talking, I was under the impression that if I wanted to bring up an issue, I could. Okay? I'm sorry if
Okay.
I have to ask permission, if which things are acceptable to
the
bring up at a
the
given time.
the budget is under consideration. The budget is controlled by the county council. I can't tell you what the budget's going to be. I know what was asked for. I know what was proposed. I don't know what's being negotiated.
The only reason I brought it up is because it would seem to me that the core issue of keeping stuff up and with relation to the memorials at the park has been the lack of labor availability to do the work. Now,
They're-
if
they're-
I'm wrong,
No, there's been, that's one of the reasons, yes.
okay, so that's the only reason I brought it up. Thank you for your consideration.
Thanks, Steve. So is the board in favor of trying to maybe put together a memorial committee, a group to explore ways to find support for and improving and maintaining the memorials?
Excuse me before you do this. make sure that you have representation from each one of the groups that you want to have in this committee. And not individuals that have personal interest or anything in it. And the worst thing that's happened to this park is there has not been any schedules kept the past few years to rotate the work done. Once a month.
Yeah, we know that.
Scheduling was a big problem with your health, not that you don't have nothing.
So, actually, me and Tom were just talking about that, like just the other day, about basically coming up with a thing that we need to do yearly, a thing that we need to do monthly, a thing that we need to do weekly. Yeah, and I think there's just been a lot of other complications that have kind of gotten in the way of that. It's almost to the point where, at least from working at other parks myself, I kind of like, don't get me wrong, we could always have more labor. We could always have more people working on things, but I think it honestly could be done, or at least we can get close to that point, because I think we just need.
Run this park with no more help or funds,
Mhm.
and all the work got done because of schedule.
I think that even if we can't meet the expectations of the public completely, I think it'll start to look a lot better, and then we'll be on better footing to meet that in the future. It's just we need to like actually have that list and actually be able to get on that schedule and that routine, and then maybe we can meet those demands.
In my experience, the service groups that you talk to want to do something for you. And if you have a specific thing that they can do, they'll do it. We've never been turned down by DFW or American Legion. They've been cooperative on several of our projects. We're doing restoration at Batson Cemetery, Church and Cemetery, and we've been going into the third year. And we've got a lot accomplished out there to restore that cemetery. So I know it can be done by different people that have the interest to do it.
And I think they're out there, and we've talked about that. We're trying to turn it around and get it going in the right direction. It took years for it to get to this place, so we can't turn it around overnight. But we are working, and we're trying to work within our means. That's both financially and within our personnel that we have. So we are making progress. The council is behind us. The commissioners are behind us. If the budget holds, they've approved an increase in our budget. We put line items in the budget for maintenance and repairs that have never been in there. We'll get there, and with you and everybody that's helping, we'll get there. But we wish we could throw a switch and make it happen overnight, but we can't. But we're going to put Cade to work. He has promised to not sleep at all. Yep. Okay, Sheldon. And then Katie's got to go get the cookies. So.
As you know, next year is the 100th anniversary of that park. To me, that's pretty important. And I'd like to see Let's Creek on public notice that the park is its 100th year, and get people to participate, get more events out there. And you'll find what I've found anyway, and I just talk to people and they're kind of excited. You guys are working in the right direction. And, but the paper, the social people, get it out there. 100th anniversary. Fireworks, it's going to be great. We're going to double the fireworks. I don't care what you tell them, but get their money. And they'll donate. So that's what you got to do. And I think it's amazing. It's a very special park, and people don't get it. They've let it get down to where it's not the jewel, but when you turn that corner, there's thousands of people turn that corner. That's why I was still after it. I want that to be a beautiful spot when they drive by, and I'm not done. It's going to improve some more. That's why I'm working on money. So I compliment the board though, that they are trying very hard to improve that place. But 100th anniversary now, that's when you need to hit it hard.
Do what? Do you have something else, Tony?
Well, they told me I'd like to have, that's all. Like to have Kate address the group as a whole. And you guys don't seem to really make me talk and everything. There's a lot of people in the public don't know about educational experience, work experience, military experience. Just tell us about yourself.
Okay. Can we go up to the cat Hello, my name is Cade Harmon. So I guess I'll just start from the beginning. I graduated from Tri Junior Senior High School, Strawn area, Spiceland, pretty close to Newcastle. And I've worked in parks just about since I graduated. I worked at Summit Lake for 4 years, and then I went to Ball State with a major in criminal justice, but a minor in sustainability. And I'm pretty passionate about natural resources and parks in general. I did my internship at Mountain State Park as maintenance / intern for the assistant and main manager at the park as well. And I've also been in the military since 2020. And my AFSC, or for Army MOS, I was intelligence, or I still am intelligence, and don't get the job name wrong. That does not mean I'm the most intelligent person. They kind of give that title to a lot of people. Yeah, that's kind of a lot of my experience. I have done also some event planning before. At Ball State, I worked as a university planning board member, and managed a couple different people, I think up to 20, and then also plus 20 more volunteers, give or take. But yeah, I'm very passionate about parks. I've worked every job at a park besides manager, and now I am the manager, which is weird. But yeah, I think that I think I have a pretty optimistic view for this park. I think it can get turned around real easy, maybe not super fast, but I think it can be. So I'm pretty excited to be working for you guys. So any other questions or anything?
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
And I second it.
Is everybody in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Some of these people pretty quick.